Today I want to give you an update on the seedlings that I started using the winter sowing method around 2.5–3 months ago now. If you follow me on Instagram, you possibly could have seen the method that I used to start them off when I was doing it. So if you would like to learn more about that, I'll insert that footage here. Otherwise, I'll pop a timestamp up on the screen when you can fast forward to checking out the results. So today we're doing a lot of winter sowing, and I've seen this method used by quite a few gardeners that I admire. So I'm going to give it a go. It means that I won't need grow lights or any indoor setup. You just sow your seeds in here and you leave them outside to the elements and nature takes its course. So let me show you what you'll need. Okay, so I have my compost, my seed. You want to make sure you're sowing either hardy annuals or perennials or seeds that need a period of cold, otherwise known as stratification, in order to germinate. I have my juice jugs. I think I called them milk jugs yesterday, but they're not, they're juice jugs that I have cut. I'll explain more about that in a minute. 2 different types of tape in order to seal them back up, only because I'm not sure which type will work, so that'll be an experiment. And my spray bottle. Okay, so I'm using a 2-litre jug for my winter sowing. I use a standing knife to cut almost all the way around, leaving a little bit on the side with the handle to create a hinge, and then I used a standing knife to poke some holes in the bottom for drainage. I might just go over those with the pencil to make a more round hole so the water drains well, and then you can discard the tops. We don't need those anymore. Okay, so the whole point of this is to save yourself time and money. Money in the sense that you won't need any sort of indoor grow light, heat mat setup, or to store seeds in the refrigerator. Time, really, it's just the sowing, and then really it's a hands-off project. These will now go outside and they will be rained on, snowed on, whatever. Any water they take in the top should drain out of the holes that were made in the bottom. And they are transparent enough to let light in, so they'll just follow the natural course of nature and should wake up in the spring. I did mean to actually start off a second round of jugs at the beginning of February, but I completely forgot, and also I was probably a little bit wary because I didn't want to waste seed just in case it failed spectacularly. But I'm happy to say that I have seen some seedlings crop up in the little top of the jugs, and these have been sitting outside in the kitchen garden for around the last 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks actually. I haven't done anything to them, I haven't watered them, I've just left them, really, just left them to do their thing. So without further ado, let me show you the results. Okay, so first things first, we have teasel. I must say the black insulation tape held up really well. Just actually pull that apart quite easily. I sewed this one on the 19th of January. Oh, and we have 2 seedlings. Not as many as I'd have hoped, but that's okay. It's better than none. So I've just grabbed the seed packet for the teasel, and it does say if germination is erratic, you can place it in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 weeks and then back out into the warmth. So I think it's one of those ones that need a little bit more hands-on care, but then I'm actually really happy then that I got 2, so on to the next one. Next up we have a verbascum. Ooh, oh, that's more like it. Would you look at that? So here's just a reminder of what the verbascum looked like. It's the white variety that I'm planning on adding to the moon garden. These are a hardy perennial, so they should come back every year. But I think I have at least 20 or so seedlings in there. I think I was quite heavy-handed in sowing those. Next up is the poppies. I'm not that confident about these because I know they can be quite tricky to germinate, and I think, again, like the teasel, this is one that needs a little bit more hands-on in and out of the warmth. Nope, nothing going on. I will try them again next year. Okay, so 2 out of 3 so far. Then we have the larkspur. Oh,
here we go. Oh, would you look at that? They look very happy. Oh, awesome. So that is 3 out of 4 so far. Next up we have Cranberry. Nothing in there. Let's just have a look at that seed packet. So it says, sow seeds into trays, acidic compost. I actually never saw that the first time around. Keep outside in a cold frame or sheltered place. Make sure the compost does not dry out. Seeds need a period of cold before they will germinate, so they will sprout the following spring. So actually, you know what? Maybe I didn't start these off early enough. So that's what I'll do. I'll start these off in September and see if it just needs that full winter period in order to do its thing. So what am I now? I'm 3 out of 5. Not bad odds. And the last one is Snapdragon. Madam Butterfly, one of my favourite flowers. Oh, would you look at that? Superb. Awesome. I think we have full germination there. There's at least 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32-ish. Look how great they look. And as I said, I've done nothing, so that's really such a time saver. I also started Snapdragons off in the house. Whew, it's getting hot in here. So as I was saying, I started Snapdragons off in the house. And then once they germinated, I had to move them to the greenhouse, and then I pretty much babied them along. I've now just recently potted them on again. So I think just to eliminate some of those steps, this is a great process to try. I'm gonna put everything on now, and I think I'm gonna keep it outside. So if I had a cold frame, I would probably keep them in there, but I don't. So I'll either use a cloche or fleece or something or other to keep them quite happy, just so I test how hardy they actually are. But this has been such a fun experiment. The only downside is it doesn't look great. I mean, it's plastic jugs and they are not too aesthetically pleasing, but they're hidden away in the kitchen garden, and I actually don't really mind, especially over the winter when nothing's happening anyway. Sorry, my camera actually keeps turning itself off with the heat. It's ridiculous really. It's so warm for April. I say that the sun's really warm, but there is actually quite a biting wind. But we haven't had any rain now in a couple of weeks, and both the water butts are empty, which is just really unheard of in Scotland. So I am carrying watering cans up the hill to the kitchen garden, just to keep everything happy. So let's go to the greenhouse. Right, it's quite difficult to do with one hand, but I'm sure you get the drift. I'm just literally using my cutting knife to just cut out the roots and individually pot them up. So I got 8 larkspur of varying sizes from that one jug. I think they'll be happier now, potted on. I could have probably done this a little bit sooner, and I should probably have had a look at the beginning of April and maybe just taking the decision to pot them on then. Lots of lessons learned, but I'm just thrilled that there are viable seedlings to work with.
I think next time I'll probably sow less seeds per jug and sow more jugs so that they do have more space to grow on. So if I'd done less seeds per jug, I think I would be able to keep them in the jugs until they actually need to be planted out, which would be another real benefit rather than now putting them out potting one. So I will fertilise the seedlings from now on probably about once a week. I use the fertiliser from MaxiCrop, it's a liquid seaweed feed, and I use it on all seedlings once they have germinated and put on their first set of leaves. That's the ice cream van going past, if you can hear that. But yeah, I think just to keep the nutrients going, a feed once a week is key at this point. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.